Wednesday wrap-up featuring my mom, my aunt, and my brother.
Hey, welcome to this week's Weekly Wednesday Wrap-Up. I'm Rebecca Gordon. This is Sylvia Gordon, and we're wrapped up today with a brand new budding musician, my son, Charles Ratcliffe.
I got a brand new product. It's fast enough to get us out of here. You're gonna have a lot of sales on MedSups with this brand new product that we can't talk about until third quarter. That's as good as I can do in that key. He doesn't have a capo. Thank you, Charlie.
You want to keep playing?
Keep playing for one more second. This is it, folks. You can book him for your next parties, bar mitzvahs, weddings, graduations.
Okay.
Thank you, bud.
Thank you, Charles.
Next future leader of Gordon Marketing, right there.
So I want to talk about our Advanced Annuity and Life Case Boot Camp that will be coming in July. So
July is a great month.
July 10th and 11th.
My birthday.
It's guaranteed to increase your life and annuity sales. So put that on your calendar right here in Carmel, Indiana. And if you want to fly in and talk to your marketer and see what opportunities we might have for co-op to get you here.
I really got to say, I think that our life and annuity team, they do a great job, especially the annuity, taking our big senior producers and tapping into that clientele for annuity sales. So they have a lot of systems. They've done a great job, and that meeting is from 9 to 5. Well worth your time and money, folks.
Can you throw this money at me while I read this?
Yep.
Gordon Marketing is now proudly offering the CPA Alliance Program. This allows agents to develop relationships and earn qualified referrals from experienced CPA professionals. We provide agents with our engaging presenter who will promote and conduct a 4-hour CPE credit program for CPAs in your area. This seminar is centered on the products you and your agency offer and highlights you as the go-to resource. This program helps you develop relationships with professionals in your area, driving production and referrals from a credible source, as these CPAs will then recommend you and your products to their own clients. If you are not ready to slap her yet, then you don't even understand how I'm feeling.
Great.
If you're interested in the CPA Alliance Program, call our office and talk to Clayton Duvall. Clayton's extension is 385, so that's something exciting and new. Now I'm going to give it back to you. Who are you introducing?
Hey, we're going to introduce our awesome friend Mike Jones, a veteran, Army vet, our Humana rep.
Humana rep, and a fantastic resource.
Fantastic resource talking about how to tap in and help our veterans.
But first, let's call out to Neil. We know you're watching. Hi, Neil.
Hi, Neil.
Okay.
So we're super excited to have the most handsome rep of all time, Mike Jones with Humana.
Thank you.
Audience, what do you think?
I think we're a little over the top, but yeah.
A little over the top. Not uncommon for a salesperson. But Mike, I want to ask you some questions about your VA involvement, and you gave a class at the summit here in Indianapolis on VA benefits, and I think just overall VA knowledge, awareness, that really rocked my team. Everybody who was at that meeting came back and was blown away with the information that you shared. So much so that we've asked you, and you've kindly accepted, to be one of our main speakers at our AEP kickoff August 16th in Indianapolis. So
right.
Tell us something.
We're excited about that. The more opportunity that we can get to make more advocates that are out there, insurance professionals that understand the plight of the veteran and also understand some of the uniqueness behind their healthcare and their healthcare options, and aligning other healthcare options with that. It's a great opportunity for us as a carrier that we can arm people with that type of information, and because what we don't want to see is veterans in plans that they don't need to be in, paying things that they shouldn't be paying for because they can get them from places like the VA. Or I get a lot of questions about, what do I do with TRICARE and TRICARE for life, and it's confusing. So that class takes about 90 minutes, and we go through all of those different things one by one and kind of lay it out. How does a veteran get VA healthcare, and how does a veteran qualify for a TRICARE benefit or a CHANT VA type benefit? All those things, we show you how they get them, and then we take that and say, okay, this is how it would work From a Medicare side, on somebody, what do they need? Do they need something? And what situations will arise out of having some of those types of benefits? And what we see a lot is the phenomenal thing is that on both sides of the house, the insurance professionals, they don't know enough about things like VA healthcare, so they kind of avoid it. And by avoiding it, they can somehow do damage with it because they don't know.
Right.
And the veteran themselves, believe it or not, they don't always know about what their benefits are, and people think that they would, but that's not always the case. We have about 4 million veterans that actually go to the VA. Well, there's 20 million veterans overall, so that's an indication that there's some kind of a gap there, and a lot of times it's an informational gap. And Vietnam veterans, when they came back in the 60s and 70s, they went through a lot of different things, and a lot of them just wanted to get away from the service and just kind of get away from what they had experienced. And you fast forward 30, 40 years, and now you have a veteran who's struggling to pay for his medication and struggling to pay his doctor bills and things like that. And what he doesn't know is that, hey, have you ever thought about going to VA? And well, I thought I had to do that when I came back. And like, no, you can do that on a daily basis if you wanted to. And so getting that information into people that are going to be sitting down with them is kind of critical, and that creates that advocacy, and that's what we want to see. We want to see more insurance professionals be able to sit down with a veteran and be a true advocate, and that's why we do the training. So I'm excited to do it for you guys. I think it'll be fun.
Well, and you are a vet.
I am. I spent
Thank you very
almost
much.
21 years. I didn't
21
I didn't
years.
want to change my uniform, so I stopped right before 21.
21 years, wow. You need to put in the comments. Thank you very much, Mike. That's 21 years is a long time. But when you talk about people thinking that they would come back, vets, and understand their healthcare system through the VA, I take regular people off the street. They have no idea. They think Sagamore is an insurance company, right? It's like it's so confusing. I can't imagine being a vet and having the VA and then having this and then having that and trying to navigate that system without an advocate. To me it
Right.
seems
And
like
then,
a black hole that people, it's just easier to do nothing because it's probably just too confusing to do something.
Right, and I think knowing that having the knowledge is the first thing. We train every agent that we come across to ask a simple question. It seems like a complex process, but it's not, and it's very simple. Are you a veteran?
Are you a veteran?
Down, everybody you sit down with that's Medicare age, ask them that question because there's a 20% chance they are. So you're going to hear a yes. 1 out of 5. You run 5 appointments a day. One of those is going to be a veteran. If you factor in their spouses and their household, then you're going to be looking at a 33% chance. So then your household, sitting in a veteran's household, increases. So you're going to be sitting down with these people whether you know it or not. But they're humble, so people are not going to. Most people don't have a shirt that says "I'm a veteran." Make sure you know about me, right? So the thing is to ask that question, and some of the counters I get to that is, well, if 20% of the time it's going to be a yes, that's 80% of the time it's going to be a no. What does that do for me? And I'm like, well, think about building trust and rapport. In our line of work, we must build trust and rapport. And if I get a yes, it's easy. We're going to teach you what the follow-on questions are, so you can do that proper needs analysis. But if the answer is no, the next question they're going to ask you is, well, why would you ask me such a question? He said, well, in my line of work, I come across a lot of veterans, and I know that they have unique health care benefits. They have unique situations, and I don't want to do something that would harm them, so I ask that question of everybody. That's going to help you build trust and rapport, even on a negative response. And when you do get that yes, or you do get that, no, I wasn't, but my husband was, or my spouse was, then you can go from there and do that needs analysis and be a service to someone. And why not? They risked everything to be a service to us.
Right.
Why not pay them back that simple 90 minutes of learning something and then being able to go out there and be a true advocate?
So would it be safe to say for the agents who are coming to our big event in August, do you break down then, if they say yes, where to go from there and things to ask
Absolutely.
this and da-da-da, so that I know that my team came back after your meeting. They had this amazing laminated,
Yeah, we
I don't
call
know if it
that
was
the engagement guide.
the engagement guide.
It's basically the notes that you don't have to take as we provide them for you. And we also give them scenarios that they're going to come across with, and we give them real life things that we have actually seen. And I'll give you one of these now. And we had an agent sit down with a veteran, and he had a bunch of medications in front of him. And of course, we know from our profession that we can look at the pills and we know what's wrong with people just based on the medication they're taking. And she asked him, "Are you a veteran?" And he goes, "Yes, I am." And she's like, "Where'd you serve?" I was in Vietnam." She said, "What, were you in country?" He said, "Yes, I was in, whatever Asian part of the Vietnam." And she's like, "Are you going to the VA?" And he said, "No." He goes, "Can I?" And that's not, that you would think that's uncommon. Like
Right.
us as civilians, we're like, all veterans can go to the VA,
Right.
which is not true. And all veterans must know they can go to the VA, which is not true. So he said, "No." He goes, "Can I?" And she's like, "Well, you have to qualify, you have to be eligible." And then, and of course, she knows he was in Vietnam, and he knows he served on active duty, so she kind of knows that she has a good feeling that he should be eligible. And then she's like, "Have you ever filed a claim?" And the reason she asked that is because based on his medication, she could tell that he might have been suffering from something as a result of his exposure to Agent Orange, which was something they used in Vietnam. And it makes our Vietnam veterans extremely sick, and eventually takes a lot of their lives. And so she asked him, "Are you receiving any compensation from the VA?" And he said, "No." And so, those lights came on in her head. I got to do something,
Right.
right? I got to stop what I'm doing, and I got to do something for him. And her next step was to connect him to a veteran service officer, which is part of our training. And she did. And the short end of the story is that within 3 weeks, he did file. He got a claim adjudicated at the VA, right? And now he was receiving about $700 a month tax free, because it's not compensation. It's compensation. It's not income. I'm sorry. And now he's going to get his medications at the VA, and the medications at the VA, if they're related to your illness, you don't pay anything. If they're not related to your illness, it's $5, $8, or $11 for a brand name.
Wow.
You can't get brand names.
Right.
So when you look at that, the impact that she had on his life was phenomenal. And it all started by her asking a simple question. And knowing a few bits of information to get him to the right person, to get him to the next level. And I could tell you that story in almost every single market that Humana has, and it's just phenomenal. I get agents that send me emails or just send me text messages. I just sat down with this veteran, and although that's not my primary function at Humana anymore, it's still good to hear that we have people out there doing well while doing good, and that's the thing that we like to drive home.
That is awesome. So look, TV viewership, we want you at our AEP event. He's going to be up talking for 90 minutes. My husband served, my brother-in-law served. It's near and dear to all of our hearts, and I agree, these people sacrificed their lives. We need to take care of them. A lot like the dual market and my passion for people who are on Medicare and Medicaid, just being an advocate, being a voice. So definitely hit us up in the comments. We'd love to get that invite to you and get you signed up. And if you have more information, and especially that engagement guide, put that in the comments so that I can link you up with our specialist in the office. Because, gosh, I know when I've worked at the pantry, I run into a lot of vets.
Absolutely.
A lot of vets. And it's amazing, and they need a voice. So thank you, sir. You're amazing.
I appreciate
Such
you
a
letting
nice
me be
man.
on.
We have a long list of people who wait to be on our show, so we pulled some strings definitely to get you on here.
Yeah, I knocked 2 people down as I was coming in here.
You did. So look, thank you very much,
Thank you.
and we'll talk to you guys soon.